Chapter 24. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
The matter of faith. There have been men, many of them, who claim to be a new Messiah. And tonight we're going to meet three of them.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Secretary Jim Mattis, once again speaking of military options against North Korea.
Our response to this threat remains diplomacy-led, backed up with military options available to ensure that our diplomats are understood to be speaking from a position of strength.
South Korea and the United States have wrapped up their latest round of high-level defense talks, while the Koreas are interacting for North Korea's participation in the upcoming Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Seoul and Washington reaffirmed that their ultimate goal is the regime's denuclearization.
Amid continued visits and talks between the two Koreas, the defense chiefs of Seoul and Washington met on Friday to reaffirm their ironclad alliance and denuclearization goal. South Korean Defense Minister Song Young-moo and U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis sat down for talks at U.S. Pacific Command in Hawaii, just 3 months after their last meeting in late October. The U.S. defense chief welcomed the recent resumption of inter-Korean talks, but at the same time, Mattis and his South Korean counterpart confirmed their shared goal of the complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. That is, the talks on the Olympics should serve to make North Korea change its path and come to the negotiation table, but not detract from the ultimate goal of denuclearization. Song and Mattis also saw eye to eye on the need to strengthen military readiness against Pyongyang while maintaining strong support for diplomatic solutions.
This threat remains diplomacy-led, backed up with military options available to ensure that our diplomats are understood to be speaking from a position of strength.
Mattis reaffirmed Washington's ironclad security commitment to South Korea, including extended deterrence, and stressed North Korea will face an overwhelming response from the U.S. if the regime ever attacked one of its allies. Song and Mattis also emphasized that any attempt to crack the Seoul-Washington alliance will fail. They agreed to meet face-to-face as often as possible. While there was speculation the talks would set the schedule for the postponed joint military drills Key Resolve and Full Eagle, that was not the case. The exact schedules remain unknown, but the Allies' military authorities are firm that the drills will be held as normal immediately after the Pyeongchang Olympics wrap up in March.
North Korea in September conducted its 6th and largest nuclear test. Its ballistic missile program is also advancing. South Korea's foreign minister this week said military options are unacceptable and that the situation should be solved by diplomacy.
The problem is war by inadvertence or by accident. When you have a highly pressurized situation, anything can happen. And people will attribute the worst possible motives to the other party behind what's been done. I think there's still room for diplomacy.
Mattis was asked during the trip whether he thinks the threat of a U.S. attack will eventually persuade North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to back down. He said he has, quote, modest expectations of his ability to predict Kim's behavior.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
The United States has warned North Korea that military options remain on the table if diplomatic efforts fail to end the nuclear crisis on the Korean Peninsula. Speaking to CNN on Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said the Trump administration wants to achieve denuclearization through diplomacy, but those efforts have to be backed by a strong military option. Tillerson also urged Pyongyang to refrain from further provocations, saying they will only result in more severe sanctions. On the high-level inter-Korean meeting scheduled for Tuesday, Tillerson said the U.S. is waiting to see how the discussions go.
My administration is proud to have led historic efforts at the United Nations Security Council and all around the world to unite all civilized nations in our campaign of maximum pressure to denuke the Korean Peninsula.
The American people should know we're working to prepare a series of options to make sure that we can deliver a range of things so the president will have the full suite of possibilities. The president is intent on delivering this solution through diplomatic means. It is the focus. It has been uniformly that for now 365 days. It remains so today. we are focused like a laser on achieving that. We are equally at the same time ensuring that if we conclude that that is not possible, that we present the president with a range of options that can achieve what is his stated intention.
I firmly believe that if you want to prevent war, then make sure you're fully prepared for it. So what am I talking about? We've got the #1 cyber offensive capability in the world. No one's even close to us. We should be attacking North Korea's information systems, command and control, their finance systems, and their energy infrastructure. We should be taking that country down electronically. Second, we should put in place a naval blockade of North Korea to cut off the back door that we know exists, where he's getting fuel and other supplies. And the third thing is we should start to bring our forces into the theater. If we're saying we're going to go to war to prevent him from having a nuclearized ICBM, we have to show him some of that capability. We should not just be talking about it.
Give me 2 more seconds.